Good afternoon. I'm doing a short intro before my radio hosts call in. I'm going to play a video and they'll be on the air in a few minutes.
In the run-up to the US midterm elections.
Poll after poll shows that these tariffs are incredibly unpopular and that people associate them with this broader issue of affordability. It's just another way that they see the government making life harder, raising prices.
Republicans should be asking themselves if they want to keep backing this policy, which is just meeting obstacle after obstacle when it comes to implementation.
Trump wants Republicans to win the midterm elections. It's going to be harder for them to do so if a lot of voters don't like his signature economic policy.
And it's something the Republican Party can't ignore, since Congress has to approve extending tariffs once these first 150 days are up. A budget reckoning is looming, exacerbated by the possibility of the government issuing tariff refunds.
One of the big issues going forward is going to be the fiscal implications. Huge sums of money are involved. And if that goes away because of refunds, then that's a new hole in the budget deficit outlook.
One of the major policies implemented last year was the continuation of tax cuts and other expansionary fiscal policies that would otherwise...
Since the tariffs have been implemented a year ago, there's been $170 billion raised, but that money might have to be partially refunded after the Supreme Court rejected Trump's bid to keep going. He's also used it as a weapon against other countries as far as geopolitical, trying to drive their economic doctrine. And for example, he tried to punish India for buying Russian oil and gas, but he was only doing that as a manipulation device in order to regulate their tariffs. Canada and Mexico, he waffled with many times, and now I'm going to try calling Bianchi. I'll leave this on for a minute or so longer.
Is the fiscal deficit, and the administration was really counting on this revenue from the tariffs to plug that fiscal hole and finance the fiscal deficit.
But even with tariffs, the numbers don't add up. With the exception of the Clinton era, the US has been running deficits steadily. The pandemic required massive government spending, and the tariffs introduced since Trump's first term have made a dent. But the trend is the same, with the annual deficit still hovering near $2 trillion.
The public debt was on track to keep increasing in relation to the size of the economy. If you take the tariffs away, that fiscal gap gets very much bigger. Very much bigger. Then the question becomes, is the bond market going to be okay with that?
The bigger worry is this growing sense of unease about the United States, and that erodes over time the power of the dollar as the world's great reserve currency, and that essentially investors around the world slowly lose confidence in the United States.
That loss of confidence is being fueled by Trump's disdain for some of the institutions behind America's perceived strength, like...
We'll pick up with this later. I have to notify the host it's time to call in. Also, with the use of geopolitical strong arming, it is undermining our relationship with Europe and manufacturing of car products made out of steel and aluminum because the prices have gone up so far. I'm going to try calling Bianchi. Excuse me.
Yeah, Dane, I'm coming.
You are? Should I hang up or what?
Yeah, hang up.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to play a little more of the clip until the hosts call in. Hi, I just got off the phone with Bianchi, and I was playing a video on the impacts of tariffs and possible reversal of some of them after the 150-day limit has been reached, because
Yeah.
some of the tariffs are not forever.
And most things aren't.
So before he gets in the phone queue, and here he comes right now. Sorry.
Ooh.
Bianchi, hold on. I have to merge you.
Thank you.
I'm merging you with John. John and Bianchi are now currently on the phone.
Where's everybody else at?
Don is on his way, and Suzette is a defector.
That's okay. We have one lib and two conservatives. I think it's a good balance.
No, well, right now you have two conservatives and one lib, and then Don will be calling in, so we'll be even.
Well, we'll leave it up to the Lord on that one.
So I was wondering if you guys had any expertise as far as the trade wars. In the first 6 months of the trade wars, it strongly affected a lot of businesses, especially the steel and aluminum businesses. It costs almost 3 times as much money to import steel products as it did previously. And it affected subcategories like car making and things of that nature. And then we have to take into account other countries like India that has a huge technology gap between their northern and southern part of their countries. And also with Trump trying to lure businesses back to America for manufacturing, the problem becomes not so much for the tariffs, but it comes because of small technology parts that are made in other countries. And he can't get the whole package here all in one full sweep. So,
Well, in 2016, Trump made it possible
I
for
kn-
3 aluminum companies in Kentucky to come back online with the contract deal that was done with Boeing Aircraft. That's why come Boeing cannot meet the schedule for a new Air Force One, because they are overbound with all these orders.
Well-
and also,
Mhm.
in Granite City, Illinois, U.S. Steel fired up 2 units that had been shut down. Trump started them up, Biden cut them down, and they back up and running today. That's because the tariffs on Russian plate steel. So it's an opportunity for Americans to start back manufacturing again. That's what it's all about.
Yes, there was one video that said with the high production costs in steel and aluminum, some of the U.S. plants is increasing in production. But my question is for other specialized manufacturing jobs, is it going to be harder to get those up and running by the time Trump leaves office?
Well, America's got the opportunity to do so, and we can demand that we think about America first. Let's put it like this. If you don't manufacture, if you don't produce, what good are you? You can't be dependent on everybody else. Suppose that type of mentality existed during World War II. Hell, we would have been defeated at that time.
We had very high production 60 years ago. Now, I would like to ask you guys, when Trump was waffling on his decision-making process, here comes Don, just a minute. Just a minute, Don, I'm merging the call. Hold on.
I just got into work.
Okay, sorry. Don, Bianchi, and John are on the phone. I'm just starting the show off with tariffs because I don't want to start off in a political bent. I want to start off in an intellectual bent so that we can have a conversation before people go off into their different tangents of what they prefer. Now, I know with Canada and Mexico, in some ways, Trump was using it as staging to try to strong arm them. But why did he keep going back and forth with each country and then backing down?
Well, I don't think he backed down. But if you go to OBM, Office of Management and Budget, one of their sites, deadclock.org, there's a category there for them to everything that you can imagine. And you have one category that's a virtual clock that's constantly running for tariffs revenue. Presently, the last time I checked, our tariff revenue was about $375 billion, which equates for every U.S. taxpayer, they save $3,700 some odd dollars. It's projected that by 2028, that the input revenue from tariffs alone will be matching the U.S. defense budget. Now, we know what that is. That's over $800 billion. But that would be money that American taxpayers don't have to pay. And it does work. He have saved Americans money on their taxes.
So I have a question. There's no, isn't there a limit though? A limit to how much the tariffs can be? Because the Supreme Court just shut him down in some case.
They've shut down one method that he was using. And here's the point. We have two constitutions. We got the original Constitution, then you got these presidencies from Supreme Court decisions throughout the years and federal judge decisions throughout the year. They bump heads with each other. And it's ridiculous. Judges shouldn't be making law. But let me tell you from my own personal experience. When my accountant gave me my tax return last Saturday, my federal rate, that's the difference, that's the amount that I paid to the federal government and the amount that I gross in income was 0.025. 2.5% was my tax rate federally. I mean, actually, if I add the state and federal together, it was about 2.5%. So that's good. When Obama was in office, it was 39.6. Now tell me somebody cannot.
So I have a question. Since you don't work anymore, is all your revenue from investments?
That's from, my revenue is from retirement income. That's what it's from.
Okay.
Of course, yes, I do invest. But I'm talking about retirement income. That's great.
Good for you. Maybe you can cook the
when you do yours, you probably notice the same thing also.
I'm not doing mine till April 15th because I'm going to owe money.
Well, I tell you what, if you owe money last year, I doubt if you owe money this year. But you're single too, and that kind of leaves you off some of the opportunities that I bet Don does very well.
Well, all his kids are grown.
Oh, you got a wife. He's not retired though. If you're retired, you're really in good shape. Well, it should be.
He's not fully retired. Now, I would like to know if John or Don has any current comments about the tariffs.
I'm not fully retired. I'm retired from I'm just Social Security, but I'm not retired in that I do have a more than pretty much full-time job.
Because he's over 67 and he can make as much as he wants now.
Right, and my Social Security pays my bills, so the money that I have is whatever, recreational things like that.
And John gives more than $5,000 a year to the church, so he'll probably get money back.
Right, exactly.
Right, John?
I'm helping all the poor black people of the world, America, foreign and domestic. I save them all.
Can you help a white person?
I have a brother man right now. A brother man, he decided to wake up and clean everything. So hopefully we don't think of this as slavery because he just wanted to do it. He's cleaning everything up. So, and we're not paying. So that would be like, I guess, slavery. But but then
Is it in your apartment?
Oh yeah. We're
Just check your watches, check your jewelry,
I save all brothers, foreign and domestic.
earrings. Make sure you check them.
Can you save a white woman?
Well, it's funny. I guess he was the place he was staying at before. There was like 4 roommates and a mom that owned the house or whatever, and I guess a couple of them were fighting all the time. And then the guy had like a 16-year-old gay boyfriend or so. Anyway, they got in a big old fight because he was using drugs, and he got arrested. He has 4 felonies pending.
Who does?
Yeah, so we saved him from I guess you would say a worse situation probably. But he would have been like, that's kind of like the LBGQ plus dream, the wet dream. Just have a bunch of gay guys fighting and getting arrested, and maybe let them out free. Without having to post bail, just let them loose. That would be the dream.
Does California still have that law that if you commit 3 felonies, you're a goner?
3-strike law? That's a good question. Do we have 3-strike law still?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, which is interesting because I told them what was going to happen is they're going to have, because I'll get them on sex with a minor, drug use, probably assault and battery or whatever, unlawful conduct. So they go, okay, we got these four charges at you, and you'll probably be doing 20 to 40 years. You'll be like 85 when you get out, or you can plead guilty to one. And you get 5 to 10 years, and if you're a good boy, maybe after a couple, if it's your first time major, a couple of years you get out, and then it begins the life of being a criminal for the rest of your life.
Are you telling me you gave away my couch?
Well, you might save it for Lolo.
Lolo is richer than all 3 of you.
That's true. How is he doing it anyway? Is he doing all right?
He seems to be okay.
That's good. He's able to have his own place, but he's under kind of like probation, kind of.
Not really. He's just he has to meet with somebody once a month. It's not. Wow. It's not like a legal problem. It's just a visit, a required visit.
Do you get to visit him sometime, or is that still kind of?
Well, starting next week, I'm working 7 days a week, so it'll be a while.
Wow, it's gonna get very hot where he's at.
I'm working 4 days a week at Walmart, and 3 days a week at a group home, and 3 mornings a week at a school.
You think you'll be at Walmart by the time the end of the New Year's comes around?
I'll think I'll be either dead or at Walmart.
Will we still have the show if you're dead?
Dead or overworking? I don't know. It's up to you guys. Now we got off topic.
That was funny. Okay.
Hey, your buddy was on deposition today. After his woman yesterday.
What buddy?
Oh, Bubba Clinton. They got to testify today about his pictures in the hot tub in the pool with Ghislaine and another woman who wasn't his wife. And I guess he had a young girl on his lap. It's interesting. You don't see pictures of that. Trump's always with a suit and in public at a party. But Billy Bob, he's like another one. A lady's doing a massage. It's not Hillary. And he's like, well, I don't really know he was into all that kind of stuff. Hillary yesterday defaulted on a lot of stuff. Do you need to ask my husband about this and that? Because she's a lawyer and she's a pro, so she knows how to get every answer. She wanted to wait till after Prince Andrew to find out what he was going to say, but they wouldn't accommodate her.
Right now, it seems in America, we don't have anything specific to pinpoint. Like some people are talking about the tariffs. The big crisis in Minnesota seems to be over at the moment, and there's not there's not a specific focus on any one problem, except for James Tellerico has a primary next week, and that race will determine if the Democrats have any chance in November.
Well, it was an interesting thing with Minnesota. If Trump, it's all about getting the House and the Senate secure. And at the rate it was going with Minnesota, the unpopularity and how it was being, positioned, like you have 14 million illegal people here, and you have two controversial shootings, and everyone's concerned about those two people, but and also missing Guthrie, the whole country, but 14 million people, that's like 256 Dodger stadiums full of people running around, 18,000 terrorists. Not a big deal, but two people get shot, attacking or interfering, and it's like we got to stop bias. That's the problem.
Well, the media has a tendency to hyper focus.
Right. So his team, they realize at this rate, no one's going to vote in, the Republican Party. So now the shift is okay. Back off. Keep it loose, and then get the prices down. Try to scramble that way. But an interesting point at his speech was a record. He set the record, breaking his own record at 149, and Clinton was at 128. He pointed to everyone. Well, actually, he invited the House and the Senate. Whoever thinks we should favor American citizens over the illegal aliens to stand up. And all the Republicans stood up, and all the Democrats just stood there. And he said, "Look at you guys. You guys are crazy. It's like you can't stand up to say that American citizens are more to be, valued or protected than illegal aliens." I heard Al Green. He said
they kind of have a hard time believing it because two were shot dead.
And then Ilhan Omar got into a shouting match, yelling at him. He was saying, "Go ahead."
They should run her ass back to Somalia.
They won't. She's married to a Minnesotan.
I don't
A
care.
white man, too.
Damn fool.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. She has to get voted out.
Well, this is the thing here. If the regular authorities don't do the things that they're supposed to, then we should start implementing common law like we had once before in this country. Common law.
That's from the Bible, and you're not a Christian. Common
law existed among societies before any Bible did.
That's
what it's going to take.
The Black Supreme Court Judge Clarence Thomas, who had controversy surrounding him his whole life, when he was nominated for Supreme Court, he cited common law multiple times. And it's like,
well, that's good. American citizens of the country have a right to implement common law.
I know. I'm saying it's a Judeo-Christian, it's an Israeli Christian precepts.
Well,
coming from
evil people have their own gods too. But what I'm saying is that we don't see people going to jail. And all sorts of evidence exists. We need to see some people going to jail. They need to go to jail, and if they need to implement the gallows with the hanging judges like we had once before in this nation.
I don't agree with that.
I understand you don't.
I'm going to have you and John. You and John are going to talk while I go find my lipstick in the bedroom.
Well, then why do we get in arguments all the time? If you don't,
I'm not in an argument, but I don't think public hangings is going to change people's behavior.
Public hangings, there's nothing wrong with public hangings. If a person,
well, who do you think should hang?
Like raping kids and cutting kids' heads off, and lying and committing treason, the penalty for treason is death. As simple as that.
Who are you accusing treason of?
Whoever is convicted of treason by trial, they need to be put to death.
Don and John, help me out.
I kind of like where he's going with it.
Well, he does. I get a lot of messages from you during the week mainly about black people misbehaving and breaking the law. So I consider you the crime expert of the show. And you focus on things that are criminally evident. Now I want you to discuss it with Don and John while I go get my lipstick. I'm not avoiding you. I'll be right back.
Well, I mean, I am almost with Josh on something, but we have to be careful about lynchings unfortunately, things are unjust in America, and there probably will be a preponderance of people of color being.
But Don, if they are the ones that commit the majority of the crimes, what do you think? In a 35-year period, in a 35-year period, you had black men kill other black men at the rate of 324,000. It's 35 years. In Chicago, in 4 years, 2020 to 2024, Memorial Day to Memorial Day, they shot 15,488 and murdered 2,409. The police in Chicago cannot solve all of that.
Well, there's that, but that doesn't mean that those people need to be hung.
For murder, what else you gonna hang? How you gonna punish them for murder?
They'll be punished if they're caught.
They are never caught.
Most white women want a black man that's well hung.
John, that's not a normal part of the argument.
No. Because they know that their white men are so unhung.
Well, these jokes don't make no difference. They said when you got kids going to school wearing bulletproof backpacks, they have to run down the street zigzag to prevent from being hit by bullets. You have emergency rooms in hospitals, put signs on the door, we're closed. Then the ambulance has got to take patients clean to Indiana to be treated.
Right. And those things are what society is about. And when you talk about making good sums of money and having tax benefits, these people don't have those things.
It's nothing stopping them.
Right, but that's because there are more of them.
There's nothing stopping them. If you can look at this, you can take people out of the prisons in the Southern Hemisphere and bring them up here in the United States, and they all working at something, while you got 2 million prisoners in U.S. prisons here in the States. Whose fault is that? That ain't my fault.
No, it's society's fault. That's the whole point, is that it's unjust. If you're laying in a bed of money and you're covered up with dirt and red ants are everywhere, and then you will die.
We're down like this.
There are more red ants than you, even though anybody.
Let's put it like this, Don. I hear what you said. So what needs to happen? If we take a stick and draw a line in the soil, you and that attitude, that sentiment, and that feeling, you stay with those on that other side of the line, and leave those that think like myself, and there's a lot of them, leave us alone. It's not asking, we're warning you. Leave us alone.
I have a question. The only thing we hear about in the news is illegal immigrants suffering in those prisons like Alligator Island. We don't hear anything about regular criminals that much. like we.
Yeah, they wrote a book about it. And Michelle Alexander wrote a book about it.
I'm just saying that we in the headline news we don't hear a lot about average criminals,
Well,
except for the.
They there, Dane. Look at that idiot that stabbed that Ukrainian woman on the bus. He murdered that woman. The woman's coming from working at a pizza place in this country, trying to do the right thing, and this Negro has been in prison with the same judge. She has a treatment center. He was under her tutelage for I don't know how long, at least 18 years with this. And he stabbed this woman. As far as I know, he's back out on the streets.
His mother said he shouldn't have been left alone on the streets.
Her mother was there at the speech, and no one from the Democrats stood up when Trump talked about how they're going to get justice for her. And it was just really a sad, and she was in tears too. It was really sad. But an interesting thing is something we always talk about with the illegal alien thing. Don always brings out we need them over here for the jobs. They pay taxes. They contribute to the economy. I did a little research on it, official congressional report. Turns out every illegal alien costs us $68,000 more than they bring in to the benefits they use up. It's a statistical fact. So it's not a money helping economy helping thing for the country when we bring in too many people.
Sure it is, because those people are making our goods and services. They're making billions of dollars a day, whereas their health care and food stamps and everything add up to about $13 a day. So I don't have the faintest idea what figure that is.
And half the Mexicans don't even.
We need their labor. If it wasn't for their slave labor, for those figures would be sky high, and they will.
Agricultural workers.
Why don't you take Americans prisoners and put them to work? That way they can pay money toward their children. That is the burden of American society. We're taking care of their kids.
It just takes one visit to ER by an illegal alien to spend $10,000. That makes up for the $10,000 they make a year under the counter. Half of them, they got 3 or 4 kids or a family, and every time they sneeze, they run to the ER. I know that because I work with guys, and that's what they do. It's like, where's Jose? Oh, he's sick. He's running to ER all the time.
I have a question though. When my church used to go up to somebody's phone is cackling. So when my church went to Northern California, we went with a dental operation to give dental care to immigrants because they couldn't afford dental services. And half of those people don't even go to the doctor more than once a year. And Don's right, they're working for no man's wages. And they're doing all the agricultural work for California.
They cost $68,000 more per person than they bring in. It's not even a break even. That's
and at the same time, the U.S. is giving their country hundreds of millions of dollars. Over $765 million to Somalia. Another $490 million to Haiti.
I doubt that Trump's giving Somalia anything.
Why do white people do that? Why do white people do that?
Guilt.
They want to get elected.
I don't give a damn what the color of the skin of the people that's doing it. Then black folks, well, I tell you, then blacks just want goddamn reparations. Reparations.
Yeah, and you don't understand the culture because we are in a sweet spot. Black people are happy as hell. We are not slaves. We don't have to bow down anymore. We don't have to.
I just got this to say. The U.S. Constitution, Don, don't work on Mars when they start selling that place.
Mars property.
It ain't gonna be no Negroes on Mars.
Oh, yes, there will be.
Yeah, right.
We're colonizers. I've been trying to tell you for the our numbers, the ant and the money in the pit.
Y'all crazy as hell. Right.
There's a freeze on aid to Somalia right now. Last year we only gave 145 million.
They'll let the black people live on the dark side of Mars.
We're colonizers. That's what we've done 8 times. You are colonizing. You are us. So I don't even understand what this whole conversation is about. I mean, when I say you are us, we are all Africans. Some Africans. No matter whether it's breast.
Nobody from those damn
I'm
Africans.
Scandinavian.
Why did Africans get rid of their ass?
Because they have to populate this colonized.
And them idiot stuff.
All right, are we getting along?
Oh yeah.
What's wrong with you, Jane?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm saying last year we gave 145 million to Somalia, and this year there's a freeze.
Yeah, well, how much did we give to Switzerland?
In fact, African countries get more than European countries, including Switzerland.
Well, China's in there helping Africa too.
Nigeria, 900 million.
See how much we gave to Switzerland.
Okay, I have to. Every time I change the page, I risk you guys going off audio though. Why would we give Switzerland money for the UN?
Just check.
Okay. I'm looking.
All right, because if we give Switzerland about the same amount, I don't see a problem.
Well, it's because they hold a lot of hidden money for us. Plus, they make great chocolate too.
Oh yeah, and that's where it's going to be over $140 million.
146 million in foreign aid.
There you go. So what the fuck are we talking about?
And some of it's to hold our money there.
That's a lie.
I just Googled that.
In 2025, Switzerland received $600.
Bull crap.
Type in U.S. assistance, foreignassistance.gov.
Based on reports of fiscal year 2025, the U.S. has reported 146 million in foreign aid allocated to Switzerland. This includes obligations for that period. It is important to note Switzerland is a highly developed, wealthy nation.
Just sent you the link. Look it up. There it is, right there. Who else want it?
It's beyond that.
It's in 2024. They got 600 million more.
In 2025, they got $600.
I can't switch pages during this radio show.
Listen, Jane, I hear what you say. I just sent you the link for all the countries.
But my show is on the radio show is on my phone, and I cannot switch windows on my computer.
You ain't got to switch nothing. It's all. I just texted it to you.
$600
my ass.
Well, whatever it is, we gave money to somebody. So I don't see what the real deal is in terms of us giving money to countries in foreign aid, whatever they need.
You shouldn't be giving them a damn dime.
Well, when you're talking about some of the richest mineral deposits in the world, and then China going in there and
Burkina Faso, $326.3 million.
Well, we also cut out a lot of foreign aid. And people.
But there's more to Switzerland. Switzerland is far more than just a little economic situation. The Nazis did not take Switzerland. Have we figured that out? The Nazis wanted to take over the world. They didn't go after Switzerland. CERN is there. Davos is there. The World Economic Forum. The World Health Organization. This is a very strategic.
Right. It's the world. The Switzerland is the European capital for global relations.
It's also
El Salvador, $227.4 million.
What's your point?
The white boys are thieves and suck.
the point
All
is,
you people talk about is about
We gave
black and
40
white.
million to
White is white,
Argentina.
That's all we learned.
yeah, white males built Western civilization.
the point is, Switzerland is more. It's more than an economic. It's a spiritual, demonic country. If you don't believe me, just take time and look up the longest tunnel, the Goddard Tunnel in Switzerland, and look at the ceremony. All these leaders from across Europe came there, from France, Germany, and so forth. It was a satanic event. They had a guy as a goat. There's a woman in red, and he mounts her, and then they pull out a baby out of her, and they worship her, and they got these spirits, and the naked workers doing sexual dances in front of all these world leaders. We're like, oh yeah, this is, it's not. It's Illuminati. It's their imaging is very bad. And I just, as a neutral observer, I mean, not even taking bias, go look at Goddard Tunnel, celebration. They did a movie about CERN, and it's all like the Matrix. The guy's in black, and there's a guy in white, and he's doing the.
You know how much the Congo Kinshasa received? 1.4 billion.
All I know is that God's in charge of the universe, and anyone who practices Satan is going to go down someday.
So you don't like your own people because the Finnish are right next to Switzerland, sweetheart.
All I know is the God particle. The God particle was found in Germany, so God rules in some parts of Europe.
Witchcraft and voodoo is big in Africa, and so is the Muslims, who are killing people left and right. So
And Santeria is big in Cuba.
Yes, it's all over.
But we worship God, so who cares?
We all have a little wicked side to us.
We give friends $600.
I don't know what to say. We're getting off topic.
Well, I know that white people are just probably from Switzerland.
I'm not from Switzerland. The other European place where there's supposed to be neutral government is in Belgium.
Denmark,
That's where the United Nations is. The United Nations headquarters is in Belgium. In the name of Jesus, wipe out every satanic force.
Belgium, 0.
Hey, you didn't read the book of Revelation. The beast is going to rise.
Thank you. We coming to get you.
It's already here.
Oh, yeah.
What's that city in Belgium where they have the Security Council? The Prague. The Hague. The Hague. In Geneva, Switzerland.
Ethiopia, 1.3 billion.
Well, where does all our money come from?
Us?
Where does all our money come from?
It comes from daycare centers.
So I have a question.
It comes from you, Jane, working 3 jobs, and you're what, 60?
I don't have a man.
What? Germany, $5 million.
I need a shirt.
African countries get more money than European countries.
Right, that's because we want to keep them safe. That's what I was talking about. They got diamonds.
Well, you may want to keep them safe, but don't they have money to straighten their damn stuff out, man? That's how I say.
I met there were 2 women from Ghana and Walmart, and they said they have a lot of diamonds there.
That's what I'm talking about. You better protect Africa, or else everybody else is going to get a piece. And they all
Blacks in America are not Africans. Ghana, 211 million.
What do you want us to say, Bianchi?
I want
wondering what he's going to say. Why are these white boys giving it away like that, Junkie? Answer.
Blacks are also United States citizens, and it's their tax dollars too.
But we're not in the legislature. We got a few people in the legislature. These are white people giving this money away. Tell me why.
Blacks are in the legislature, like Maryland, Mississippi, Louisiana. Hell, they give away the money in the neighborhood, so you can imagine what they do with that going overseas.
But they don't. There's not enough of them to make a quorum.
And blacks are not.
They can't make a vote. They can't make a vote.
The person who was in charge of USAID was a black woman.
Yeah, but she's in charge of it, but she's not in charge of the budget.
Guess who gets the most money from the U.S.? Guess which country? Guess what country?
I don't trust your.
Israel. Israel gets $150 billion.
I was going to say Israel, but if all the black people went to Africa, they could all have their own little tribe. They'd be very rich.
Oh no, they're back. They've got land all over Africa that they're offering black Americans to come back.
Don, you could have your own village. You could have 4 wives.
But
Black Americans are not Africans.
We didn't say we were. We're African Americans.
What's the diff, Cliff?
We're mixed in with all this white blood, Mexican blood, Indian blood. We've got everybody's blood in us from all over the world. And so we're just kind of a new breed of people who
that's what it is.
It's what?
They're bastardized.
That's whatever you were to call slaves, former slaves who have gone through everything, and as I said, are happy as hell to be where we are right now. Now we got
Zimbabwe, 429 million.
And we're going to be giving more money to them because the Chinese are not going to stop. And neither are the Iranians or the Saudis or anybody else. They're using, over there in Qatar, they're using blacks for slaves.
Afghanistan, 755 million.
Right, what you expect when you've got these white folks that are just guilty. They feel guilty. They've got places like Switzerland and Germany where the guilt is so embedded that you need voodoo to get it out.
All the money you're giving to these countries in the Southern Hemisphere, and they still got to send their people to the United States. That's a bunch of bull crap.
Why? So they can get richer. They want to get richer too. That's our whole point.
That's why your shit don't work.
They're smart.
That's like the Bible says. Blacks are cursed, the Hebrew Bible. Blacks are cursed, the Babylonian Talmud. Blacks are cursed.
Well, you're black.
I don't know if cursed is.
Is Lolo cursed, or is he half cursed? Lolo's half cursed.
The Scandinavian part covers himself. The Scandinavian part covers his butt.
So he's 50% blessed.
Chile, 3.3 million.
All right, I feel like we're getting off topic. Can we hone it in a bit?
Slightly, I would say.
Can I talk about how the disability office called me today?
Yes, before we go south of the border too far.
They said that they asked me since my eye surgery if I've been able to drive. And I told them yes. And then they told me I don't qualify. So I don't think I should have answered the question.
Did they make you look at an eye chart?
No, but they claimed they had all my records. And then I try to make it sound worse. My fingers do go numb with neuropathy. But
Canada, 259,000.
Did they let you drive away from the place?
they called me from St. Paul.
Oh my goodness.
So I have to think of a news story by Monday. I have to call her back.
Syria, 525 million.
Is St. Paul named after the biblical Paul?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
We're a holy nation under God.
Right.
All right, who's gonna say, John? Can I use you as a husband on my federal taxes?
Sure, why not? If I can write off Lolo.
John, did you file your taxes yet, John?
No, it's going to be pretty easy. I just go like, I'm retired, don't take my money. So Daddy Trump fixed everything for us. They don't even tax tips or overtime. Daddy's got it all under control.
I work at Walmart 32 hours a week. I'm rolling.
That's all I get?
I'm rolling in the dough.
Wow. I've seen some of the dough.
Eat rocks.
It's white.
Eat rocks.
What's the next subject, Jane? What's the next topic, Jane?
I don't know what to talk about tonight, except for the only thing I know about the tariffs is that it's not as pretty as the picture that's painted. We shouldn't be.
Tariffs does a good thing, Jane.
We can't rip other countries off. It's wrong.
Jane, tariffs has nothing to do with the cost of your eggs and bacon.
I don't care about that. I don't buy eggs and bacon.
If other countries charge tariffs, why is it wrong for us to reciprocate?
Well, I heard a guy that he had to change his rates 4 times last year in 2025 after Trump took office. We're
like economic junkies. Yes, we went for cheap labor, cheap junk from other countries. So it's like a kid going, man, I got this toothache, and Trump is saying you got to pull the tooth and get an implant, and the kid's going, that's going to hurt. It's like, well, yeah, you're going to lose the whole country. See, that's the problem.
Well, some small businesses
prices go up 10%. Prices have gone up 10 times with the system we're using. Does that make sense? But we the $60,000 home that you got 40 years ago cost $500,000. Average house $500,000. So who cares if prices go up 5 or 10% and we get industry over here and we get businesses going again? At the rate we're going, things are going to go up 20 times, and we're all going to lose everything. We're on the brink of collapse. 40 trillion in debt. So
I wish it would just. I wish it would happen already. I wish it would happen already.
You want the system to collapse?
I don't know, but I met people. I want to tell you all the countries I met people from in Walmart. I met a guy from China. I met a professor from Mexico. I met 2 guys from Peru. I met 2 Ghanaians from Ghana. So there are foreigners here, and ICE has not come after these people.
Well, you got to understand that this is what's going to cause the change of the guard, if you will, is that a lot of things are hypocritical that are going on right now. When you talk about saving money and sending tax refunds and everything else with tariffs, that unfortunately they're not coming to fruition right now. So we're in a state of big flux. But the making of wars is taking away from all those monies that are supposed to be coming back to us, the people, and then we're bringing in new currencies. These bitcoins and all these other currencies. Platforms are going to cause upheaval in our economic system in the near future. So everybody's looking at what's going on day to day, but they are missing the big picture. And that's what I see, I worry about, and that's why I bring in my conjecture. Because I'm not looking at what's going on today or tomorrow. I look at the stock market and stocks every day. But I know that, and I stopped investing in them a while ago because I know they're rigged. But the things that we're looking at day to day are taking away our vision and our ability to set goals that we can achieve, through just living day to day. And so, we're missing the boat, and these people people are going crazy. That's why there's so many killings and things like that. And don't get it twisted, Bianchi. These are not just blacks killing blacks. Whites are killing whites too at an alarming rate. So it's all about publicity. And there
should not be any black crime against other blacks. All I've ever heard is blacks complaining about how others treat them, and particularly whites. Whites have no. Well, let me finish saying what I'm saying. Whites have nowhere near killed or done harm to blacks as they have them. White women that are raped, 30% of them say it was a black accomplice, not accomplice, a black perpetrator that raped them. Look at the FBI records. If you don't believe me, I don't know what to tell you.
In Minnesota, that's not the case.
Yeah, well, I don't have.
The people in Minnesota is crazy
because you're missing all the points. The point with rape is that you have rape test kits that are sitting around that have never been processed, will never be processed, and those are rape kits from who knows how many donors. So those are things that we have to take into account. Just like when you said. And you use the word that it's supposed to be like that, and in terms of the numbers you were giving in your financial statements you were saying earlier, those unfortunately, and John brought it up, the courts have stopped those tariffs. They've stopped everything. What you're talking about has not come to pass. It will not come to pass, and you will not see those numbers. And his numbers, his economic ratings are falling because people know that he's a failure. Get over
Let him answer.
Let me say this. I don't have nothing to gain from this. Nobody kills like the black male in the United States. I mean, that's a fact.
Well, you obviously don't watch a lot of crime shows because James D'Angelo, the Golden State Killer, was a white man who raped over 35 women, and most of the rapists in the world are white.
Yeah, but Samuel Little was a black male. He is the most prolific serial killer in the United States. He killed over 100. And not only that, he showed the authorities where the bodies were buried.
Right,
I believe that there's more white rapists than more black rapists. And what about men who rape their own wives?
That's not the point. That's the point. Is that it happens everywhere, and it's just publicized maybe more. But we are the best killers in the world. That's why the white man is scared of us. He quakes in our presidents, and that's because he knows that we can rip them up like nothing. And so that's why we are in this predicament.